Hey everyone, it's Megan with Shiki Wrap here to kick off the countdown to Global Recycling Day and World Water Day this month with 3 short videos introducing you to a sustainable alternative to paper gift wrap based on the Japanese tradition of furoshiki. And I am so thrilled to be joined today by the fabulous Megumi Esselstrom, a fellow working mom here in Vermont who I was introduced to through a mutual friend when I was looking for translation help in my communications with a furoshiki study group in Japan. And to plug this book right here, Gift Wrapping with Textiles, the author here is who I was communicating with. You can get this on Amazon. And Megumi was helping me with that. So,
Right.
Megumi, so happy to be here.
Great to see you.
And as I got to know Megumi, I learned that she was super smart with social media and loves to educate people about fun products and brings life experience with furoshiki. So that's awesome. So Megumi, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So hi everyone. My name is Megumi Esselstrom. I was born and raised in northeastern Japan called Aomori Prefecture. And then I moved to the US in 1999 with a marriage. And then we moved to Vermont in 2004. So I am a musician. I play flute for a long time. And I work as a preschool teacher right now. And I love, generally I love Japanese textiles and all Japanese traditional things. And I always love to share Japanese culture with the community, with anybody who's interested in it.
You always do. You should follow Megumi. I will put her social media information in the comments. You can follow her because you've had some really interesting posts lately about Japanese traditions and culture. And you were telling me about kimono making and that tradition in your family?
Yes, my mother's mom, my grandma was a professional kimono maker. So when we visit, her house, she's always sewing and on a special, really long table with a beautiful fabric. And it's all hand sewn. So she's always, doing beautiful work, and I always admired what she does. And she also was a really great crafter and cook and everything, like every traditional imaginable thing, like she does it beautifully. So I learned a lot from her.
That's wonderful. Well, I was so happy to find you because as I was developing this product last year, I was searching for somebody locally that had lived experience with furoshiki and understood the tradition and the ties. And I reached out to the Japanese association here and I didn't find anybody. I kept looking and looking, which is what led me to actually reach out to people in Japan. And then full circle though, then I found you. So can you tell us a little bit about kind of your experience with furoshiki and growing up in Japan, how it was used?
Yes, generally wrapping thing is really like something unique to Japanese culture, I think. To have more respect or like a formal a feeling or things like that, to give something or even to like use as a gift. It's always like wrapping is a very special thing. And also like the product you find has a really beautiful wrapping papers or wrapping things, like everything you can imagine is wrapped beautifully. And I think that's a part of the culture too. We don't really, give like items just it is like, here is a gift from me, you always wrap with something. So that's, how it started. And in our daily lives, like very common thing, the lunchbox, we always wrap it, not just bare lunchbox in the bag and go, we always wrap it with the fabric. We call it's like a handkerchief, but it's like a little bit bigger size handkerchief. We use that and wrap. So it's just our part, part of our daily life, and many people do that.
Well, and there's some really gorgeous traditional furoshiki that you can buy here in the States from, like, Link Collective is one, and there's a few others where you can buy just gorgeous patterns, and they're often not repeated patterns. It will be, a picture or a depiction of a scene.
Right.
And so I've been learning more about that. Shiki Wrap is a little bit different in that it's just a continuous pattern, because I would love for this to be more popular in the United States. And with, 2.3 million tons of paper wrapping waste ending up in a landfill annually, I just think furoshiki is the future. It's the past, but it's also the future for a sustainable planet. I think it's wonderful.
Yes, I agree. That's really great.
And out of curiosity, so when you, in your experience with furoshiki, one question I've been asked is, so then do you give it as a gift or do you take it back? And how does that work traditionally?
Well, usually you take it back. Like when we go to the party and we have big dish to wrap, we wrap it in furoshiki and bring it. And then we fold fabric, the furoshiki, fold it, and just we will bring home with us. So we keep using it. But giving idea is for, like, I can think of it is like when you go to the wedding party, that's another different culture here. But you get a lot of gift as a guest. And then when you leave wedding reception, you will get a lot of gift from, bride and grooms. And then they will wrap it in furoshiki. And that kind of furoshiki, you can keep it to yourself and you can reuse it. Yeah.
Oh, it's so interesting. Okay, well, I just wanted to also just say a few things more about why I love furoshiki as a sustainable-ish American mom who's busy. I don't sew. I don't know how to sew a stitch, and I'm not crafty at all. I try to be crafty, and I'm not. But I try to reuse what I can, and I'm not filming this in my basement because I'd be too embarrassed to do this, but I did pull out, a lot of people have like I have this big tub of wrapping paper, and then paper that, pieces that I've tried to save to reuse.
Oh, yes.
And it looks horrible. It always looks horrible if I want to reuse it. And I have like lots of little, I don't even know what this is from or what I'm going to reuse that for, right? And then I have some, because the wrap that can be recycled, usually it's either looks like this or this, because once it has anything like metallic or glittery or anything, it's not recyclable. But the other thing is gift bags. So I have like a whole bunch of these bags that they look pretty bad. And then the ones that I have that look pretty good, that are like well made, because this is a brand name. This is a fancy, my stepdaughter lives in Paris, and for Christmas she asked for this really fancy candle dip so this is a very fancy candle bag. But the problem is, if I reuse this, let's say I want to give you a bracelet I got you or something, and I want to put it in here, you see that and you think, oh, you got me a dip candle, wonderful. And then you open it and you're like, oh, not really. Which my stepmother does that all the time with her brand name bags. And so you get so excited, whoa, you got me. Anyway,
right.
But furoshiki is just the cloth. So tell me a little bit about, because you were kind enough to use this.
Mm-hmm.
This is different than traditional furoshiki in a few ways.
Right. So when Megan gave me samples of beautiful Shiki wraps, first I noticed, like right away, is how stretchy the fabric is. And traditional furoshiki is not like this. So it's more, for durability and flexibility you can get from this fabric. I think it's absolutely amazing. Yeah, the texture and the reversible. You can enjoy two designs. I think this is brilliant idea. You traditional Japanese has only one side print, so yeah.
And my hope was to find something soft,
Mm-hmm.
just and forgiving,
Yeah,
for the typical, American who's new to furoshiki. So I don't know if I mentioned though, but it's mostly derived from recycled plastic too, which is a good thing, and printed in the US. So, and it's different from traditional wrapping in that it's quiet and you don't need scissors or tape, right?
absolutely. No tape, no scissors, just time. Just
Just
time. Mm-hmm.
just wrap it. Yeah.
Just wrapping. Yep.
Okay, well, we're gonna, in our next video, we're gonna get into the wrapping, and Megumi is gonna show us a simple wrap.
Mm-hmm.
But first of all, before we end this, I do wanna say that we are running, it's not a promotion, it's a poll for our ocean theme designs, which will be in our new collection coming out in the late spring. What I learned in developing these designs with an artisan is that it's so subjective. People want all different sorts of patterns, and I don't want it to be me just arbitrarily selecting them. I really want to engage others in selecting those. So there will be a link in all these videos, and we'll be promoting it on Instagram. But you can just go to shikiwrap.com, and right at the top it says vote here. You can click there and follow the instructions to vote on your favorite design. So
They're beautiful designs. It's hard to choose.
all right, okay, so with that, we're gonna sign off, and we'll see you next time where we will learn about wrapping.